Well, I've had a couple of days now to get over the initial shock and childish, immature, reactionary response that I had. Deep down in my heart, I know that there's more to this from the RCMP. I'm upset at the what I'd consider to be mass misinformation by way of the CBC. However, it's probably important that you deliver some sort of balanced narrative, or maybe I should rephrase that and say that you don't want in the papers to focus on certain things necessarily that make Daniel, the suspect, want to close up and not talk. Because the more that he gets in front of the camera, the easier it is to gather evidence in that circumstance. It's still upsetting. And it's upsetting to all of us because it feels that the investigation has gotten nowhere. When I believe that it's contrary, and I'm just probably being impatient personally. Who is this that sent me this? This is J.K. Heisey. AB, the RCMP are not stupid. Although they like criminals to think that they are. True. These documents are court documents submitted to the courts under the Missing Persons Act, so they will not include anything that is evidence of criminality. There are many advantages for the RCMP to classify this under the Missing Persons Act. The RCMP is all over this, in my opinion, she says. This case will transition into a criminal investigation at the right time. You're probably more correct than I am, and I acknowledge that. You have to deal with the hand that you're dealt from the investigator's standpoint. And you know what? I will apologize for being overly emotional to the RCMP at this point in time, from an angle that really is a layman, a know nothing out here. We don't know anything. We're reacting on the things that we read in the CBC and CTV, which is infuriating. That brings me back to this latest statement by Daniel. There's a new video out. People have been watching it, and he's got these bizarre arm motions and head movements now that probably go along the lines of him believing that he's out in the clear. Let me start by saying that, listen, at no point in this circumstance are you not a suspect. Why is the priority for Daniel and Janie to be overemphasizing just how innocent that they are? And there's absolutely no discussion, no focus on the victims of this circumstance or any of the relevant information that would be of an actual mystery to someone who was victimized by a stranger in an abduction like this. Not that that's what I believe happened. But if the kids aren't in the woods, then naturally you're going to believe that somebody has your kids. Why are Malaya Brooks and Daniel Murray, or whatever his douchebag last name is, Martell, why are they not focused on wherever the hell Jack and Lily are right now? They can't be that far. They're in front of the camera more or less in a tone of, oh, I told you so. I'd like to thank everybody. Daniel Martell wants to thank the RCMP for coming out. We'll see you guys later. Thanks for trying. He has this thanks for coming out attitude as though you just cut some kid from tryouts in a baseball practice. No, Daniel. No. The focus will remain on you until we find Jack and Lily. You're the only individual with any of the answers here that you're not wanting to be forthcoming about. So we could be witnessing a bit of a stalemate. This video of Daniel in front of whoever, I believe it's a CBC, doesn't matter. he's got his arms all wrestling around, trying to emphasize his points like he's CIA trained. Oh, thanks for coming out, and man, all of the resources you guys chose to spend, it's like it was their choice. It wasn't actually doing their jobs. Like they chose to do this because you requested it. When a person has the necessity to do that, you know that they're hiding more than they're letting on. Like, how stupid are you, Martell? How dumb do you think the people out here really are? Nobody out here believes that you, Daniel, are innocent in any of this. You don't have to know each and every detail to know based on your behavior that you have something to do with this. What is it that you think that you're going to gain by trolling all of these other YouTube live chats under the guise of trying to help Jack and Lily? This is the last place that you come when you want to find your kids, son. You need to be out there and digging up whatever hole that you made in the first place. Bring them back. Your stories in this circumstance don't float whatsoever. The kids voluntarily left. 2 kids voluntarily left your trailer, walked out the back door through the gate, never to be seen again. And you want to thank the RCMP for all of the resources they dedicated to searching the bush, which led us to the presumption that they're not in that bush anymore. Even you don't believe they're in the bush. Well, isn't that interesting? But there's also not enough evidence for a stranger abduction in that circumstance, not unless Earl has something to do with this and he was up there on his bicycle.
Just do everything you can for the kids, right? Just do everything you can for the kids, right?
For the kids, right? So the focus on in this interview has nothing to do with Jack and Lily. It's all focused around the effort and how thankful that Daniel is, he says, for them coming out and spending all of this time, even all of that time in the polygraph examination office. Oh, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. So the fact that he appears chipper and giggling and laughing, and he's all upbeat at this point in time, is more representative of a person who is at ease over the fact that he believes that the scrutiny isn't upon him by the RCMP or the powers that be in this circumstance. Because if you were a caring father, this would not be a very good time at all. Why do you keep insisting that you're the stepfather in all of this when you were never married? These aren't your biological kids. You treated them like shit. You talk about them like they're pieces of shit. Hey, Daniel?
Daniel Martell has known since the day Jack and Lily disappeared that he was a suspect. He's been their stepfather for more than 2 years, living together in this trailer.
This dude is hopping around. You can even see that properly. Let's take a look at that again. Watch him hop out of this trailer. He's hopping around. Oh, get me at this angle. This is my good angle. Daniel, are you sure you're allowed to drive there, son? Well, why don't you get me at an angle of me going into my truck? My good side.
Than stepfather, he was a suspect. He's been their stepfather for more than 2 years, living together in this trailer. Martell says that's why he has fully cooperated with police.
Yeah, everything from my phone, doing a polygraph exam, and just ask them to do, here you go, search everything, just do everything you can for the kids, right?
Freshly unsealed court documents.
What was all this stuff? Look at this. Look at Jesus. Hey, Jesus. It's for the kids, right? It's for the kids, right? Is that what you're supposed to say, Daniel? Is that what you're supposed to say in a circumstance like this? He's got all of these weird little bobs, expressions with his arm. Oh, it's for the kids. Obviously, we're dealing with an individual who knows what to say in front of a camera. This guy. Oh my God. Oh, I want to focus on all of the things. Listen, I don't mind. Let me get in front of this camera and tell you exactly how cooperative I have been in all of this. What does that matter? What does that matter to you? Who cares? Like you had a choice in the matter anyway. You didn't have a choice in the matter. It's not. Listen, in a circumstance like this, you can get all kinds of things and give them everything that you want. Oh, the fact that you gave them your phone to search doesn't make anything, come to light. It's not evidence of you not being a suspect, as though that there was going to be incriminating evidence on your phone, Chomo.
Doing a polygraph exam and phone. Everything from my phone.
Fully cooperated with police.
Everything from my phone. Doing a polygraph exam and just ask them to do, here you go, search everything. Just do everything you can for.
So he's purposefully being untruthful here by insisting that they do a polygraph examination. Why are you giving so much credence to this polygraph examination? It's garbage. There's issues with its quality control. And the fact that you want to wave it around as though it's a piece of evidence on your part as not being involved in any of this ruled yourself out as a suspect. Why don't you let the RCMP rule you out as a suspect in all of this? You're insisting on a polygraph? That's you conditioning people, all right? Why wouldn't you be a suspect in all of this? Why is the emphasis in June, July, and August still each and every month focused on how Daniel is just so innocent in all of this rather than the emergency at hand as to where Jack and Lily could have went? You've wasted the resources of the RCMP since the get-go. You've called it in with this false lead where your kids have just wandered off and need to be found. You can't find them. There's a real problem here. And you want to keep insisting on just how innocent you are by the same old rhetoric. How you volunteered to have a polygraph. You crammed your information all down, the necks of the RCMP. That was going to happen anyway. So the assumption would be, why would he be volunteering all of this information if he had something to do with Jack and Lily's disappearance? Well, what does that have to do with a person who's a tweaker, who can't control his emotions, whose children have a history of showing up malnourished, dirty, with black eyes to school, that live around two sociopaths like you and Janie, whose only focus in this whole situation is just centered around themselves as opposed to the victims?
It's for the kids, right?
Freshly unsealed court documents detail how RCMP combed through bank records, phone data, and GPS locations. Investigators wanted to know the exact whereabouts of Martell and the children's mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, in the days leading up to the children's disappearance, and cross-reference that information with the statements they gave to police. The documents reveal that as of July 16th, investigators did not believe the
So that would be the presumption of they're trying to find inconsistencies. Well, they should come out and comb social media and document all of the inconsistencies that these idiots have come since day one. With daring Yetis and Daniel's endorsement of all of the misinformation. And then Malaya just went and did the same thing that Daniel did to Malaya and put it on Cody. You got the three Spider-Mans here, all pointing at one another. And Cody doesn't have anything to do with this.
Case was criminal. By that point, 6 polygraph tests had been done, including on both Brooks Murray and Martell. They were also done on Martell's mother, on Brooks Murray.
No, they weren't done on Martell's mother. They said Janie wasn't physiologically able to take the tests because she's just too high-strung and wacky. All right? Janie was never administered a polygraph test. More misinformation by the CBC. Fucking idiots.
His mother and her partner, and on the children's biological.
Who's Janie's partner exactly? Who's Janie's partner? More misinformation by the CBC. Janie doesn't have a partner. That we know of. Who's Janie's partner? What they want to be referred to as stepdad, step-grandmother who cared so much for these kids. But yet when they're in front of the camera, they refer to each other as partners in all of this. You guys are F-U-C-K-E-D.
Father. Brooks Murray was given a polygraph in what police describe as an effort to eliminate her as a suspect in causing her children's disappearance and possible murder. She passed, and so did Martell.
They've done a full background check as much as they could possibly do, and I mean,
a full background check is, well, you're only so old, Daniel. You can only go back so far, douchebag.
I'm pretty thankful for them to spend the time and spend the resources to try to figure out everything.
You're thankful to the RCMP for taking the time to try to figure things out in this circumstance. Oh, you're so appreciative of that? Do you see how easy it is for somebody in his position to lie in front of a camera? You're not thankful for that. What a thing to say. No, it's a burden. It's a pain in the ass. It's ridiculous, but you can understand the necessity by way of the police to have to do it. We have an emergency here that has nothing to do, Daniel, with you. But it does. But you can't distinguish between the two. This is why this has got to be why they're cuddling him up. So it gets him in front of the camera. He can't wait to talk about just how innocent he is in all of this circumstances. Now, thank you, RCMP, for taking the time. Oh, man, you didn't have to do that, guys, but you did.
She passed, and so did Martell.
They've done a full background check as much as they could possibly do, and I mean, I'm pretty thankful for them to spend the time. And
you're pretty thankful for them to spend the time. You're pretty thankful? Come on, Daniel. You're not thankful at all.
Spend the resources to try to figure out everything.
An extensive search on Martell's property and the surrounding 8.5 square kilometers has turned up only a few clues. One was a boot print matching Lily's size 11 feet. Another was a pink blanket hanging from a tree found by family members of the children's mother. A piece of blanket was also seized from a garbage bin at the end of the family's driveway. Martell says it was...
That's where I'd like to dump that SOB right now. Just put it head first in there and close the lid.
The same blanket, but it had been ripped apart and thrown out.
I mean, it's mysterious as it is because The distance from the garbage bin to with
Oh, it's just so mysterious. You're not the one. You're not the one supposed to be the one instilling mystery into people out here, fool. You can't figure it out? You've said everything about this pink blanket, son. Now you've resigned to believing that it's just a mystery like everything else. Oh, I don't know what happened to everybody. When you have a suspect in front of a camera wanting to infer just how extreme this mystery is, we've got a problem. That's not talking about your personal problems in this circumstance and finding the two kids that went missing from your property, from inside your trailer that you live, idiot.
the blanket was found is almost 1 kilometer.
RCMP have previously said Lily's blanket was sent for forensic analysis.
See, in my opinion, what you're seeing come through the camera is his self-confidence in being able to retell these stories from what he believes to be a satisfactory level to get away with this shenanigan. No, I'm not in a mindset where there's not a reason to be suspicious of this individual, especially at this point, because look at what we're watching. A complete backtrack from where the Globe and Mail had put people. They backtracked on all of the damning evidence pointing even more suspicion towards Daniel, and they released and cherry-picked the information, redacted it, and wanted to talk about just how much of a mystery it is again. Brutal.
To date, police have received 740 tips and more than 9,300 videos, and say a tremendous amount of careful, deliberate, investigative work is ongoing to locate Lily and Jack. Angela McIver, CBC News, Halifax.